My name is Michelle, and today my presentation is about using beneficial bacteria to clean wastewater. The photograph you see in the background is a picture of the News River Wastewater Treatment Facility. This wastewater treatment facility is located in Raleigh, North Carolina, so that's pretty close to us, and it's responsible for cleaning most of the central area of our state's wastewater. So basically, depending on where you live, this could be the wastewater treatment facility that processes your water. It's obviously a really big facility, so you can only imagine how much water they process. And it's really important for people to understand the where their water is being processed and the process their water is going through. Because most of the time when you brush your teeth, wash your face, or take a drink of water, you don't think about what your water has gone through in order to get to you. And it's really important to know that because you need to know whether your water is clean enough or it's not. So today on presentation, I'm going to be talking about how wastewater is being cleaned right now and how that may not be a good enough um, that may not be a good enough method to use. I will also talk about how beneficial bacteria may be a way to dramatically make our water cleaner. So the current method used is a method that is broken down into 3 steps: the primary treatment, the secondary treatment, and the tertiary treatment. The primary treatment is where the wastewater is taken in and all of the sand and grit is filtered out. After that, um, water is put in a really big basin and they just let it sit there so that all of the heavy solids settle all the way to the bottom. This obviously makes it way easier for water to be cleaned because they don't have to worry about those big pieces of waste interfering with the rest of the steps. After this, we move to the secondary treatment, which is where they use enzymes to make the water clear, and that's called the clarification step. Um, it takes away all the waste that causes water to change colors, and then after that, they disinfect the water. This can be done in 2 different ways. You can use chlorine to disinfect it, or using ultraviolet light to kill um, all of the bacterias. After that, some wastewater treatment facilities move on and do the tertiary treatment. Others stop at the secondary. So um, places that have water that's going to be ejected into sensitive and fragile ecosystems do the tertiary treatment because that's where nutrients and minerals are removed. But like I said, most places don't use that. Another method that's really unpopular and most places do not use this, and it's actually really bad if places use this, is taking wastewater and just pumping more water in it to dilute the waste. And obviously that's really alarming because the waste is obviously still there. It's just not you can't see it with the naked eye, but it's still there, which can cause you to be sick and it can cause many other problems. So the problems with this method are that water is not 100% clean. This isn't a really huge problem in the United States because we're a first world country, so most, if not all, places in the United States have clean water. But even though we're a first world country, there are still cities in the United States that don't have clean water, like Flint, Michigan, which is a really big issue, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed like today. Another issue with this is the environmental damage. This is a picture of the Colorado River after toxic waste was dumped into it. I know we would like to think that most of our waste treatment facilities aren't just going to take this waste and dump it into our oceans, rivers, and lakes, but that waste has to go somewhere. And unfortunately, it usually ends up in our rivers, lakes, and oceans. This is obviously really alarming because all of the organisms in the water are going to be affected by that. So is the soil, and so are the plants surrounding the body of water. The solution to this would be to use beneficial bacteria to clean the wastewater. Because the bacteria are living, it's going to eat the waste. By eating the waste, it's going to make sure that there's nothing left in the water. And by doing this, it's also not going to leave a footprint in the environment because all the waste is going to be eaten up and nothing will have to be dumped into a body of water. So, in conclusion, water is extremely important to human life, so it should be cleaned to the highest standard we can possibly achieve. Using bacteria to do this is going to be the best way. With how fast our population is growing, people are going to need more and more water. Um, and there's only so much water on Earth. So finding a way to make wastewater so clean that people can just go ahead and drink it is so important because everyone on this earth deserves to have clean wastewater. And that's my reference page. Thank you for listening to my presentation.